Well, let's just try this once again. Well, we will see if we can get the crowd in here again after dropping Giving 20. I put a little energy shot, had a little bit of, it wasn't full. It's like a 4 ounce bottle, 0 calories, sugar free, enhanced concentration, improved performance. Yeah, I need that. It's probably mostly caffeine. I don't know. Anyway, I poured some of that in my Kool-Aid. Yes, I'm drinking some Kool-Aid. Going to make some lemonade later. But I thought, well, best to dilute it. That way it doesn't taste as bad as it usually does. And I get rid of it and free some space up in my refrigerator. All right, against my better judgment, I'm here. Where's Caroline? Come on now. Where's anybody? Jedi Bill's the only one that I see streaming that I'm sub to. Insomniatic Soup, number 312. So, wow, he's been doing those a while. The Return of the Insomniac. Huh. Well, I had to go in there and say hi. I don't know that I've caught one of those. And oh, Mermaid Messiah's over there in Kronos. That's all I see that's been in there. Yeah, just saying hi to everybody. Melted Chopper. No milk. Oh, one of them called me cool or something, you know. Wow. What do we got here? Hey, sorry for bothering you. Oh, great. Well, I say bring back the sex bots. You're back. Yes, I'm back. I'm here, handsome. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, Caroline said she was bored. So, against my better judgment, I'm here with an energy shot in my Kool Aid. Um, so, you know, but thank you for saying that, Nikki. Appreciate that always. You're a great supporter. Um, yeah, I'll stream for a little bit. DVB, hey, it was worth streaming just to see a DVB come in. Hey, what's going on? I dropped the link. Yes, I did. StreamYard link. If anybody wants to join me, we can get something going here for a little bit. But yeah, I got some major stuff to do today. And every day till, I mean, even before I launch, I'm going to be on John's long box. So I really need to get going on some of that stuff. That's only about a couple weeks away. John's long box 7 Central on the 23rd. And then, of course, on February 3rd, I believe it's 8 o'clock. I'll have to check that real quick. But over on Red Valkyrie, we're launching, and then I could do a long stream on my channel, or I may go on some other channels. I haven't set up anything firm yet. Uh, you know, Rome wasn't conquered in a day, so do it as we can do it. DVB, hello, long time, good to see you. If this is your better judgment, I'd hate to see your worst judgment. I know, right? Just kidding, Rex. Yeah, it's always magic. Yeah. Sometimes it's dark magic. Um, my co-host, of course, is hard at work. He may be listening in. If you are, Shadowhawk, February 6th will be the anniversary of when Jack Kirby died. Just to let you know, not to be a downer, but that's coming up in February as well. Never much of a schedule calendar guy until I, did the channel here, and then you just almost have to if you're going to have a plethora of people on. Yeah. Let's see. Do today. Going to clean. Got to get over there. I really want to get out. I want to find my Doctor Who list. That's a good list to go by. I really wouldn't. I mean, I can pull the examples that I have. I have all the classic Doctor Who's, and up until in one form or another, Jodie Whittaker, which grates my ass, and then some Capaldi did too. But now, yesterday, I was remiss in saying, because I didn't find out till after Drop and Give Me 20 just a minute ago, that it was William Hartnell's birthday. I will not forget it next year. I have it written down this year. I don't know how I didn't write it down last year. I did celebrate it last year. Got some pretty good views on that video, too. Happy birthday, William Hartnell. I just set up the 4 o'clock shadow, which, so that's kind of apropos that we kind of go through the first Hartnells on the day after his birthday. Unfortunately, it couldn't be right on his birthday, but Texas Day comes on Tuesdays. That'll be in the second hour because we will be, as I said earlier, I will start it at 3 just as a special early 4 o'clock shadow, East Coast. We have done that occasionally for different reasons. Sometimes just because we wanted to. So every now and then I will do that. Nikki says, Rex, you have a great voice and you are so fun. Your friends on panel are always cool. I enjoy your channel. Thank you so much. I hope, I don't really share out the streams besides, but I know some of you do, like Lorenzo does every day, shares it out. We've been on a banger recently. And I'll talk about that in a minute. DVB says, I bought a new calendar for 2024 and is Egyptian artwork calendar. Oh, that's cool. I see a lot of that stuff. And there is Caroline. Are you going to come on? Are you going to come on? You said you were bored. So, you don't have to. But, this stream is, because you're bored. You need something to do. I also think you look younger without the beard. Oh, definitely. It takes off. I don't know. What do you think, Caroline? It takes about 10 years. Definitely. DVB, that sounds really interesting. Let's see. What do you say? Oh, yeah, the Egyptian calendar. Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of that stuff. I gave my mother the small dog calendar. I'm using the large dog calendar. I bought one because it came with two, which was good. She was needing a calendar. And then she gifted me with a small calendar, sort of a checkbook size calendar. So that was cool that she must have gotten, given out there. So I'll down my Kool-Aid and energy shot here. I can do if you give me a little while. Sure. Upset a lot type. Setup, yeah. I thought you looked younger yesterday. Wow. Well, yeah, of course I looked younger yesterday. I was a day younger than I am today. I don't think my appearance changes that much. I think I look pretty good for my age, actually. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna have to select out my top 10 William Hartnell uh, series. It's hard to say. You can't say episodes because there's. I mean, in some cases you can because they're like one episode, but that's. I think there was at least one, and that didn't even feature Doctor Who, believe it or not. It was just kind of the setup story. Um, Not to get in the minutia of Doctor Who. I get it. I mean, I wasn't into Doctor Who, and people that aren't into Doctor Who, it's like resistance. But fortunately, I found out. Starting with the first Hartnell won me over. Started at the very beginning, and then loved it from then. And then it's interesting. I had a job at the time where I could buy the DVDs. And like I said, the most expensive ones were the Third Doctors. I guess maybe because they were in color. I don't know. I literally spent a couple $1,000 on, which isn't too bad considering it ran for over 26 years, 6 months and some odd days, I think. In the Guinness Book of World Records, by the way. Longest sci-fi out there. Um, yeah, I had one friend, John, who drew the Devil Flyer story, inked it and lettered it, and did a cover, did a trading card, did some advertising, did quite a bit to get us all set up. That's kind of my direction, some of it. Um, I like to have a lot of input because I know where, that way it helps me. But I don't try and micromanage. It's like I want this, do it, and really, I haven't had. The people I've selected have done a pretty good job actually with what I've asked them to do. Uh, I've not been disappointed. Um, But yeah, I'm gonna have to get my top 10, and of course that becomes problematic with the first two Doctors because a lot of those episodes were trashed, erased. Of course, we have audio to all of them. I'm very grateful for that because there are a lot of shows that we don't even have the audio to. It's just lost to history. That's pretty wild. I mean, I forget the name of the show, but Julie Newmar was in it early, before she became Catwoman. And the first 10 episodes are there. The rest is not. And I reported when I talked about that on one show, I said that those episodes were not available, had not been released. Well, that was the last I knew. But then I watched something that um, recently that I had an MRI or whatever they're called, I forget. Anyway, they actually have it, so they could probably do a search by name and find it, on disc. It is available. At least the first 10 episodes, and the rest are lost, I guess. Uh, and I forget how many were made total, but only the first 10 as of now have been found, I guess, and I don't know if even enhanced or, but I had totally, totally, totally forgotten about that. Of course, I was young, maybe less than 1 year old. I don't know, man. I tell you what, I soaked that stuff up like a sponge. I don't know why. I don't know why. Vague, the memories may be vague, but I know I saw that. As soon as I saw it, I said, "Oh yeah, I've seen that." Now, when exactly? I would say very young, maybe when it was originally broadcast. But see, isn't that wild? It's like I was kind of envious that Dave got to see Doctor Who, which was not available over here. And some of those will never be probably ever discovered. There might be a collector out there that has a film somewhere that they're sitting on. I mean, that does happen. Tree Golden says the British public don't want to pay for millions of storage space for everything, every broadcast. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And it was an expensive process, and the video reels could be reused. I get it. Um, it'd be quite costly, but I mean, nobody really foresaw. I don't know why. I really don't know why no one had any foresight that first VHSs or beta would come out, and then something like this technology where we could rewatch old recorded shows. I don't know why. You know, some things were repeated in syndication. So why wouldn't you think that one day it'd be viable that you could market that stuff and resell it, repackage it? Some people were very short sighted, I think. I can't find my glasses. I won't be long. Oh, you so man. Let's see. We have a high and wind advisory all day, Nikki says.
Uh,
Hey, Doc,
Good morning.
how are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Nikki says there's someone out there that has VCR tapes of everything. Yeah, but are they going to be viable? You almost have to get that stuff transferred. I transferred a lot of mine, but I must not have formatted it right. I can only watch it on that one machine that I transferred them over. Not everything was transferable, unfortunately. So I've had to rebuy some stuff. I swear, Doc, I swore when the DVDs came out, I said never again. I don't care. You know, I'm not doing it. I spent a
I mean,
fortune in VHSs, and then I'm spending a fortune at getting some of the shows that I want to watch on a regular basis, or when I
good
want
morning,
them, when I
Chris.
want them, huh?
I was saying good morning to Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DVD.
I went through a thing, Rex. I had this huge library of movies on
Mm-hmm.
VHS, and I went through a divorce, and the wife, who didn't even like the movies, took them out of spite. So I
Uh,
said, "Screw it! I'm going to rebuild my
yeah, you told me
collection."
that. You
Yeah, I'm
told me
going to
that once before.
I'm going to rebuild the collection, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever. So I started doing that, and I've got a sizable collection. But then everything became available to just click and watch. So I don't think I've opened a DVD case in
Yeah.
years.
Well, I'm currently rewatching current or the later special effects, which basically amounts to the planets look a little bit better, and then they've got some in between shots that were probably computer generated of the Enterprise, but it's
Yeah,
still the classic Enterprise stuff, but the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
reissue.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
But I
seen
tell
that.
you what, I want to see it the way I originally saw it. I just do. There's very little.
Agreed.
Like when I bought Johnny Quest, and that was released years ago. I found it at Walmart. I said, "Hell yeah, this is mine." Uh, Johnny Quest on, released by Hanna Barbera. But when they released it on Blu-ray, they said the uncensored version. And I said, "What the hell?" And I had to rebuy it because they had censored out on the original DVD certain scenes like they
Uh,
cited one like where one of the lizard men is attacking, trying to kill Johnny, and Johnny fakes him out or whatever. He falls over the cliff and he's smack talking him as he falls to his death. And they edited that out. Now, what does that hurt? I mean, I watched some of the most violent cartoons, according to Ted Kennedy and all his little
yeah,
gushy little,
yeah. There's they.
legislation that just
I think there's.
destroyed
I think
cartoons.
I think there's sensitivity viewers, just like there's
Gosh.
sensitivity readers.
Oh, stop it. I'm twisting my nipple right now.
That's what
I'm going to
I'm.
leave a bruise.
That's
You're
what I'm
exciting me.
saying. Need to just stop it, people. Just stop.
I know, right? I mean, where's that Wild West adventure, right? Where we got in covered wagons and risked death and forded rivers and
I, you
uh,
know,
it's no pioneering spirit left. We're all pussified.
it's so
Sorry,
sensitive.
ladies.
It's sensitive. Stop it.
Sensitive. Yeah.
Stop. That's
Hmm.
not nice.
Stop it. My wrist is going limp.
I mean, think about the beach scene in Saving Private Ryan. Do you think they would release that today?
Probably not.
Oh, hell no.
No.
It would start, with them already beyond the beach landing if they did.
I think they know. Yeah, I think the death of George Perez has proved a lot to me. I've really learned a lot from that doc.
Really?
Yeah, because I see them now, whether with the estate's help or what. I've seen more or just as much George Perez stuff
Oh,
now
yeah. Yeah.
that they're
They know
using.
what sells.
So
They're
that
aware.
tells me they know it sells. Movie, they know they've been doing it long enough, over a century. They know what sells. They know what we want. They just don't want to give it to us. They know what sells. They know what we will respond to. If
Yeah.
they don't, I'm sure they've probably done studies. There's just,
Oh, they
I
know.
mean,
They know.
yeah, they know.
Stop it. We're going to put in this.
Sensitive people bug
this
me.
I want this
Sensitive people
lovely
bug
scene.
me.
I
Nikki,
want this lovely scene of
I'm
Nightcrawler
retired from
being born
funeral
as a butt baby.
I'm not sensitive. Yeah.
Hey, Caroline.
Hello, Doc. Hi, Rex.
Long time no speak.
Wow, you're coming in hot.
Yes. Losing my voice already.
So real
I
quick,
lost mine the moment you came on.
in 7 days, it will be 1 year since the tornado hit us.
Oh,
And
really?
we're in a severe thunderstorm with tornado watches in effect right now.
Well, Nikki says we have high wind advisory all day. Not even hurricane season.
Oh.
I don't know where Nikki is though. I can't remember.
I didn't know Chris was Nikki.
Yes, Chris is Nikki. Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris Nikki. Caroline, how are you?
I am very well, thank you, Doc.
And how's your weather been there?
Well, we had a little bit of snow yesterday, like I was out walking and then there was a few flakes and then there was lots of really unfluffy snow and then I blinked and it was gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it's been kind of cool there.
It's sunny today. It's
Yeah,
nice
I'm
out
a
there.
girl named Nikki.
It's sunny in England.
I'm
It is
55.
sunny
As
in
a kid,
England.
they
It's
brought
always
us
sunny where I live.
to
Really? What
meatpacking
part of the
plants.
country are you in?
I'm in the Garden of England, Kent.
That's south east, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I as a child was exposed to meat packing plants as well, Nikki.
Yeah.
Several times, we would go and kind of tour, and you talk about just a floor full of blood, whatnot. I don't know that I saw any. Maybe once, I don't know, where the animals are actually killed. There's
Good morning,
various ways
Glenn.
they do that, huh?
I was saying good morning to Glenn.
But I do know. Hey, Glenn, you're actually on at a time I can see you. I know. I'm trying to. Be
I know, right,
better.
Glenn?
I'm trying to be better at that. I think
Caroline,
I can do
turn your mic down just a little.
Oh,
Who?
sorry. Yep.
Hers.
You're
Okay.
coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Woo.
Nikki, I'm in South Metro Atlanta, so not far from Florida.
And I'm down
Is
in
that
the
better?
down in the Arkansas. Prettiest girl I ever saw was down in the Arkansas.
Lord, Lord, Lord.
That song goes all the way back to the 1850s, Doc.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Mhm.
does.
Have you heard it besides my singing?
I have heard it before.
You
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
I can remember we went on a field trip when I was in 5th grade, and that song stuck with me ever since. I'm proud
Region
of where I come from.
folk music was something that we were actually forced to study. Get
Oh,
this,
oh
in the
gosh.
3rd grade.
Well, that's probably the appropriate time because you're like a sponge and you'll, you know,
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to anything.
The Yellow Rose of Texas, Rose of Alabama,
Deep in the
uh,
heart of
Prettiest
Texas.
Girl I Ever Saw.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of them.
Why do I have 2 StreamYards open? Let's close that one.
The Rose of Alabama. Ooh.
Well, I do know that when we were also in 5th grade, we practiced and performed for the high schoolers and junior high square dancing.
Oh, I
Uh,
would rather just be hit by a flat nosed bus.
oh, it was a lot of fun. In fact, there's a picture of me
Oh no,
square
Rex.
dancing that I have
Rex,
still to this
show
day.
this picture.
Yeah, Doc, like I've got it right here with me.
You must find this picture.
It
We must
exists.
see
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Well, I'll try and dig it up.
Yeah, Tree Goblin. They took advantage of us as kids for. I feel like we were in the Roman circus. We were just free entertainment.
We played the recorder, had choir, and did square dancing. I love it.
Oh, Nikki, you loved it.
Yeah, I enjoyed square
I
dancing.
felt so
Now,
exploited.
well, I mean, it doesn't hurt to put on the overalls and dance around and have fun, Doc. Come on.
Yeah, but they made us do it naked.
Oh gosh. Like a Zulu.
Hey.
Oh me. I need more coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I need more coffee after that one.
I think I need coffee.
And they made us do it naked. Naked.
Well, nobody can beat that one, can they?
I'm naked right now, but I'm not coming on camera. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not.
Where do you go from that? I'm not. Yeah. No wonder it's drafty. Glenn says, Ice Queen is deluded. The north of England is God's own country. Just saying as I run for the hills.
Yeah, you better run fast.
You better run. Somehow I think she could probably catch you, Glenn. Yeah, I'll try and, I did my wake up streams. I'll try and do some more early morning streams. I'm often up, but I'm not a morning person. And I don't want to be cranky on the radio, but I'll try.
See, I am a morning person. And unless people are streaming at this time, I get really bored while I'm doing my housework.
Right. Well, now I like this because, I like the crowd. I like getting the UK crowd. And other parts of the world. I get it. This is actually a pretty good time to stream. Actually,
yeah,
I either stay up all night. I either stay up all night, and I'm usually getting tired by this time and getting ready to go to bed, or what I've been trying to do is do my 4 o'clock shadow somewhere in there, take a good sleep, and then get up somewhere around midnight, which I did today, and watched a little TV, and then, did the 20-minute one, and then here I am now. So I'm not feeling too bad. I'm well rested. It's just the routine that I can take. Mm-hmm. Still waiting to move on your Buscema art book, Rex. Okay, yeah. I'm actually going to get some scans. I think we're going to do the Jack Adler first, though. I don't know if I've sent you enough to get started with, but on that. But and I know Elsie's going to be scanning his stuff and sending it to you in a file here pretty soon. Yeah, I'd like to jump into the Buscema as well. Definitely. I will. Just give me a little bit of time. Give me at least to get my book launched, and then we'll see what we can do about getting everything scanned into you. Uh, I'm not sure there's any place in town that has a large enough scanner, but I know you can marry different images together and just the page numbers, some of that might be cut off, but I'd like to do it almost like one of those art books, where it's shows you the complete thing. Uh, Good morning, Kate.
Good
Need to
morning,
talk to you
Kate.
about it. Okay. All right. Well, Glenn, if you're still available after the stream, we can talk after the stream. We can do that. Glenn, you're more than welcome to come on here. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, but guess that depends on how.
Don't let Glenn in here. He'll make me feel inferior.
Well, I want to get the lowdown on, he and Russ and some others have a lovely stream. They streamed last night. And I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, but Glenn is so talented, he makes me feel inferior, and I don't like that.
Well, so does Dillard.
No, not really. Not really.
Not really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but he is damn good.
Yeah, he's good.
There are
good.
not many Kinkos around anymore.
But Glenn
I don't
Fleming
think
is a
there's any.
freaking genius, okay? So, Good. He's too busy to come on right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is pouring down here.
If I had a lovely wife like his, I'd probably never leave home either. Well, come to think of it, I never leave home anyway. No way anyone makes.
See,
you
she
feel
called me
inferior.
Dick. Now I feel inferior.
Dick. Oh yeah, Dick. Wow.
She called me Dick.
Well, that's I had a guy call me Dick one time, and I said, "Well, it's better than being the P word."
Hey, well,
Yeah. I think I got him. I think I put him in his place. I hated to say I was just being hateful.
You're so mean, Rex. Just mean old
I'm
hillbilly.
I'm twisting.
Mean old Arkansas hillbilly.
Quit it. Good morning, sunshine. Rainy here in
Ocala.
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 Ocala. Okay. So I don't know. I've lost all. I need somebody to teach me proper English. Very kind of you to say that, Doc. Glenn says. Oh crap, Doc. My dad's name is Dick. Wow. How do these things go off the rails very quickly?
It just takes one slip of the keyboard.
When a train goes off the rails, even though it's going to end badly, for those few seconds, it's got to be a fun ride.
Yeah. You live to tell about it. DVB says, I just talked with Dillard about an hour or two ago. He explained D and D.
Dungeons and Dragons to me as a beginner.
Well, DVB, did he say anything about his house? His house flooded. I'm just kind of curious, how that's coming along. Surprised he's got time to talk about D&D.
As we speak, this rain pouring down. I patched 3 holes in my roof from the tornado last year. And as we speak, one of the patches is now leaking again. It's coming in under the exhaust vent for the hood vent on the stove. So it's coming in from under the stove. So I went out there and I mopped it up and I went to go get my coffee.
God.
And mind you, when FEMA showed up, they said, "Oh, there's no structural damage to your home." I'm like, did you see the 3 holes in my roof where the tree landed on it?
Do you have gas oven?
Yeah.
Well, that's better. Now you won't get electrocuted.
Right.
Standing in a puddle of water. No, Doc, Kate says. Well, his house still has internet, apparently. Laugh out loud, Rex. I've always said anyone can fly once. Yeah.
Yes.
D&D is awesome. I play it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never played it, but I sat through enough to know what it's about. I would sit there incessantly for hours and a few times, and
I
I used to make
spend
I used to make
days making my characters.
see, I used to make money off of drawing people's characters for them.
right, yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
think you design similar things, right? I mean, for games or in the computer. Or
Glenn Fleming says, speaking of trains derailing, being a ride, way back in the Middle Ages, the first 2 inches of pull on the rack sorted those guys' back problems out. It was after that that it was a problem. Yeah, I bet those first 2 clicks on the cog felt great.
mm-hmm. Glenn, just send me a message on Facebook. We'll get together at your convenience, sir. Just know that you're 6 hours ahead of me. You know, which I know you know, but
I still remember when we were going to meet up and we were setting the time, and it was confusing poor Shadowhawk.
I'm available most of the time if I'm conscious, which is most of the time.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're easy to reach.
No, I mean my phone's turned off right now, Doc. So don't even try.
We're going to chip in and get you a new phone.
Yeah, well, just support the book, and I think we'll be all right. You know,
We're
If I
still
get
going
enough-
to get you. We're still going to get you a damn phone.
Yeah. Yeah, my mother would like me to get something else. I just think it needs updating. I don't think it's anything with the wrong. The phone is a couple years old. It's
It
not
don't
that
damn
bad.
ring, Rex.
Well, it's needs updating. It's still like on.
That's not an update. That's a malfunction.
You know, it could be probably. I don't know. We'll see. Phone's the last thing I need in my life.
Rex, you're doing business. You need communications in order to do
I know. Well, I mean, the quickest way to get a hold of me, Doc, is probably DM me on Twitter because I check Twitter incessantly. Tell him, Doc, Kate says. Tell him.
Rex, come on now. I've sent you DMs and it's been 24 hours before I hear from you. And I'm like sitting there with a question on a piece of work for you. Did I throw Carol down some breakfast in your basement? No, she's not awake yet. I can usually hear her gnawing on the floor joists when she gets up. Or she gets on her hamster wheel and runs for a little while.
Well, I hear the rooster.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd
this
have to
idiot
kill
rooster
that damn chicken.
This idiot rooster that's roaming the neighborhood now will crow all day. Shut up. We're up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go make some coffee. I will be back shortly.
Bring me a cup.
Okay. How'd you take it? Black, no sugar?
The way God drinks it, black.
Yeah. That's the only way I drink it. In fact, they say black coffee just by itself without all the sweeteners, blah, 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 is actually pretty good for you, Doc, in a lot of respects. I guess
Very
I've
good
seen
for
some stuff on there, right?
good for your blood pressure, good for your cholesterol.
May prolong Alzheimer's, I think they say.
Well, that just
Which,
means
I'll
just
the
be
way
fully
they
aware
talk,
of my.
Doc, that's like a given that you're going to get dementia or Alzheimer's when you get old. And that's just,
Look, all
if
it
we
means
put this
is
toxic stuff in our bodies, yeah, we probably will. It'll have an adverse effect in later life.
listen. All it means is I'll be fully cognizant of my body's deterioration.
Right. Okay.
A couple of years ago, I went outside for my morning coffee and a cigarette, waiting for the rest.
Uh-huh.
And a rooster walked right up to my face.
I don't know what happened to him. I didn't do anything. Nope. That was great. A rooster walked right up to my face. Very active.
Rags. Rex, you told a fib.
I did.
You don't take your coffee black. You put lime juice in it.
Well, not recently because I haven't been able to get any lime juice. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then you're drinking it God's way. Me and the rooster became friends. We had an understanding. That's cool. We have feral cats here in the valley, and I think they help keep the feral roosters population under control.
well, that's good. Won't anything get out of control?
Yeah, because animal control will do nothing about the chickens. There was a family that lived outside of the valley here, and they had chickens, and they let them free range. And apparently they got evicted, and they didn't take their chickens. So there has ever since, and this is 10 years worth, there has been a population of free range roosters just roaming the valley here, or chickens roaming the valley here. What are we looking at, Rex?
This is William Hartnell, the first Doctor that started in November 1963 as Doctor Who.
Did they decide? Did they decide he was gay also?
No. Well, yeah. Well, yes. Not Hartnell himself, but the character, yes.
See.
Now, other people depict, like there was an episode where this stand-in here, he was supposed to be a duplicate. He was an actor that favored Hartnell in one of his early episodes. And here's another actor that has played the first Doctor more recently. And then there was Peter Cushing that played the first Doctor in color in a couple movies in the 60s. And this gentleman around the 20th anniversary, I think, played the first Doctor. He actually did played the first Doctor in the Five Doctors doc, and he died 2 weeks after filming. He didn't even get to cash his check for that job, I'm told. So that kind of sucked for him. But William Hartnell would have been yesterday 116 years old.
So he won't be coming back for the reunion show?
He won't be coming back. No, he died in I think 75. His last appearance in Doctor Who was like 73, maybe, with the first, with the second and third Doctor.
Throw an egg at the rooster. It's raining too hard to get out there and throw anything, Kate.
Yeah, it was raining, drizzling, here yesterday. It's kind of breezy right now. I can see the sun's just peeking up. Don't hear any rain, but it could be drizzling out there now. Just makes it, it's been kind of cooler, so it's that damp cold, penetrating cold. Although it hasn't really gotten down there yet in temperature. Glenn Fleming says, I remember watching the very first episode. It was the weekend of the JFK assassination. That's how old I am, and it's my birthday on Monday. Yikes! Well, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, sir.
Well, let's celebrate that, Glenn. Gosh. So on the 15th, that's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Just to let you know.
I was just never a Doctor Who fan.
Well, I like early TV, and
remember, I don't know how it was for you.
Yeah.
But where I lived, having only 3 stations,
right.
Doctor Who wasn't a thing.
No, it wasn't.
And it didn't become a thing. Yeah, it didn't become a thing for quite a long time. And then I began to meet people that were Doctor Who fans. And I think that's what turned me against it, was every single person I knew who watched that show was a complete and total asshole. Kind of like Rush fans. Rush fans tend to be snobs and assholes, and they'll condescend about any other music you like.
You're right. I guess you find that you're such an absolutist, Doc. I mean, it's like, I just don't let I don't know.
How was that an absolutist when every person I met fit that description? I went, well, I won't enjoy your thing then.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But now you hopefully evolved beyond that and saw that not everybody, I mean,
Well, no, yes, I went and looked at, and first of all, I like Rush's music, but Geddy Lee's voice makes my skin crawl.
right.
But
So
I
how do you
went,
quantify that? Okay, but all right, okay, I get it. God, it's too early in the morning for that.
you asked
Are you saying that you like the music, you like maybe the writing, the
the
words, but not
musicianship.
necessarily the performance?
The musicianship is quite good.
Okay. Right.
Now, with Doctor Who, I did go and I tried to watch some of it. But the first time one of those trash cans rolled out with a toilet plunger sticking out of the front of it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, no, I'm out.
See, Nikki's very perceptive. See, women often are more discerning than men. She just cuts to the chase and said, I wish Doc would tell us how he really feels. Yeah, Doc's never had a problem with that, has he? It's like go straight for the jugular. Hooah!
I mean, why?
Why beat around the bush, right?
We just talked about, we don't need sensitivity readers.
Oh God, why does it have to be one or the other, Doc? Come on, man. There's no in between, no gray area.
Sure, there is. Absolutely, there is. I'm just saying I don't sugarcoat my beliefs to try to coddle anybody's
I
feelings.
wouldn't either. Hell no.
Well, see,
No need in being a marshmallow.
Exactly.
In fact,
right.
this world needs more manly men in it, and
That's
more
right.
womanly women.
That's right.
If we could go back to the days of James Kirk.
Oh, look, that's
Poor
why
dog of the stars.
That's why I set my stories in this world where the 1940s aesthetic never went away.
Right. Yeah. That's actually pretty clever. You bring it to present day, but they still have it kind of like Cuba.
No, nothing like Cuba, but thank you.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, if you go there, they still got cars from 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, because they have no automobile production there.
I know, but their architecture is some of their
Yeah,
architecture.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're frozen in time.
Yeah, they're kind of frozen in time. Yeah, kind of like a time capsule, somewhat.
But the 40s to me, particularly, go watch Casablanca and look at the way the men dressed and the women dressed.
Oh yeah, fedora hats. I mean, when we were extremely young, Doc, men still wore those hats.
Yes, they did. My grandfather on my mother's side would never leave the house without a hat.
Yeah, yeah. My cousin's grandfather, he always wore a hat, with the little feather on the side, even up to the day he died, even after hats had went out years, decades.
Yeah, and that carried on for quite a good long while. That men just didn't go out without being shaven. Make sure you got your tie on, unless you're a farmer or a blue collar worker. You put on a tie, you put on a coat, you put on a hat. The ladies in World War II in particular, they were always put together. They wore their victory
curls. I've discussed it before. When I and my mother, she would dress me nicely, and then she would wear the little, I call them like Kennedy gloves, the little hand gloves. If it was cold out, she'd have a muff, and would wear her pearls and have her hair and makeup. I mean,
Right.
And to this day, when people meet my mother, because of the way she reports herself, they say your mother is a lady.
Yes.
And I don't solicit that. They just tell me that afterwards, after meeting her for the very first time. Glenn Fleming says I wore fedora in the mid '80s when no one else was. I should wear one.
I wear mine now, Glenn. Yeah. I wear mine.
Yeah.
I put
work
my
it, Glenn. Yeah, work it.
I think people should dress nicely.
It shows a respect for yourself.
And it does. I mean,
for others.
Yeah, my family or my mum and my nan, they never dresses or anything. It was always dresses. But even to this day, I still, if I go out somewhere, even if it's just, I don't know, to the local shop or anything, I have my outside clothes, which are a lot smarter than my inside ones. It's just, I couldn't go out in what I wear around the house. And I mean, even that's reasonably smart, but
Right.
you have to present yourself well, I think.
I love that you just use that adjective, smart. My grandmother used to say that. Don't you look smart?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Tree Goblin, exactly. Farmers would even wear a suit coat to go out. They were gentlemen farmers. They went to town for seed. They were going to put on a suit coat, even if it was over their jeans or their dungarees, as they called them. And they'd make sure they had their hat. They would go to town and get their seed or their hay or whatever it was, and then go back to the farm and take off the coat and go to work.
Right.
I mean, I see people walking around in their pajamas out here now, and it just never ends to shock me.
Right. Oh, no, Rex, no. No. Oh, Nikki is going to an Edgar Allan Poe event.
Sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
Right. You're going to get struck. You're going to get struck.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts.
Somebody clip it.
I'm too sexy for Milan. Too sexy
Clip it.
for Milan.
Don't get struck, Rex. Don't get struck. Now, seriously though, that was awesome.
You're such a buzzkill.
That was awesome. But the song that popped in my head was not that one. It was, remember Putting on the Ritz by Falco? If you're blue,
Putting on the Ritz.
you know where to go to.
Okay.
Why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz.
Mm-hmm.
So who is clipping that? Because, that needs to go viral.
It does. Somebody clip that, please.
Somebody does, yeah.
There's a few dancing videos out there at the moment.
That sounds
24/7
ominous.
shower fresh with Old Spice Night Panther body
I
wash.
live to be doxxed. I live to be doxxed by Doc.
Oh, Glenn sent you a picture in DM of him in a hat. From Doc's in a hat.
And I still remember, let me see if I can do it.
Stephen.
Hey, Stephen.
Try it again. Here we go.
Oh. Look at that. Yeah. Oh.
Men would have some appeal to me if they started dressing like that now.
Miss Caroline, I'd be right honored if you'd allow me to escort you to the grocery.
Okay, Glenn, I'll look that up. Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was born in the wrong time.
Me too.
That's for sure.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz. Dressed up like a $1,000,000 trooper. Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in the mix. Putting on the Ritz. Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air, high hats and arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time.
Hey, Stephen B.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why
Hey,
don't you go
Patrick,
where
sit
fashion sits?
What's up, Fast Master
Different types to
I
wear.
noticed Doc likes that song, so he says, "Oh, Rex, don't take it off; you'll get struck." But when it's my song,
You'll get struck.
For this.
You'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
struck, Rex.
Mm-hmm.
What's hard to understand about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't say about this song. You just let it play.
Because in for a penny, in for a
Pants with
pound.
stripes.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
All right, whatever that means.
It means you've already crossed the line now.
Oh, might as well go full in. Good.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
When people started wearing casual clothes to funerals,
Yeah.
I knew style was dying. Yeah.
Let me turn this off. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, and she worked. You worked in the funeral business, right, Nikki?
Yes, that business that people are dying to get into.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, it was good of you to join us there for a little while, Doc. I appreciate that. So,
It's not funny, Rex. It's scary back there. It's dark.
The problem is,
Good.
once you go there, you never come back. Oh, did I just get kicked then? Wow.
No, he just moved you to the bottom.
Well, yeah,
'Cause
obviously
he
that's
likes
where I
to-
belong, at the bottom.
He likes to subjugate
No.
women. He's from Arkansas.
I actually did kick her. Just to
Oh,
be
really?
honest.
You horrible person. Kick yourself. There, that's
That's
better.
better.
Made you laugh.
Oh, dear. See, we're all mature here.
I don't know anything about that.
Still seems like Monday to me.
It does, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah. I
It
guess
is Tuesday.
it's Tuesday. Yeah. Time keeps marching on.
Yep.
Doc,
Yep.
you got any artwork to show us? I know you haven't gotten my approval, but did you get anything done?
Well, I mean, it's on the other side of the house, Rex. I'm not gonna.
Oh, Doc, I thought that was your studio.
I paint in here. I draw out there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Glenn. Father-in-law's funeral next Tuesday, right after your birthday, too. I'll be dressed properly, but I bet some won't be. Yeah. Well, try not to look on the exterior. I mean, it's the sign of the times. I know probably the way that I dress now, I wouldn't have dressed years ago. But yeah, I'm sure my now deceased uncle that passed away last year and my brother probably wouldn't approve the way I dress sometimes. So it's just exterior trappings. I know it makes a difference, but don't want to get too legalistic about it either.
No,
The way we look at each other,
you want to dress for the occasion. Like if I'm at the beach, I'm going to wear my loud Hawaiian shirts. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what you do. Good to see you, Stephen B.
Yeah, good to see you, Stephen. Don't miss it. Can't lift the weight anymore. Yeah, I'm mowed down. Yeah, anybody that's done any lifting, like my sister complains about the same thing, being a nurse and having to, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah. It only takes, a few 200-pound people falling in the floor at a hospital and you have to go pick them up and lift that dead weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're doing that, push pulling, and it doesn't necessarily, whatever it is. I mean, I did this job that nearly messed my arms up for life, Doc. I mean, it was like over 2 years before my elbows felt somewhat back to normal. I bet you it actually pulled some of the ligaments away from the bone.
Yeah, we used to get a condition called pack palsy. You got a 50-pound pack on your back in the military, and you go for these extended marches, and you would get numbness, tingling, and weakness in both hands bilaterally. It's from just pinching those nerves and those blood vessels.
For protracted time. Yeah.
Right, right, and under physical exertion. So that was a thing.
Hey, Jeremy Burtz.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, now you know why I didn't join the military, Doc. I just couldn't commit to somebody telling me what to do when I thought I knew better already. Of course, that's every green person that's ever went into the military, but I just couldn't see, doing idiotic stuff like that.
Idiotic.
I know, and I come from a military.
Idiotic.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know they have a reason for it. It just seems a lot like, pointless. Some repetitive things treat you like a dumbass. And
Do you know why they do that, Rex?
Oh, thank you.
Do you know why they do that?
Tell me.
So that you become conditioned to follow orders without question. So that when you're in combat, when you're in combat, if an experienced person says, "Get your head down," you don't look around and say, "Why?"
Doc,
you get your
I'm
head
not
down.
I'm not going to say that I'm 100%. You only have to tell me once, and then I learn. No, you might have to tell me a few times, but I do catch on. That's
Okay, I get that.
repetitively. And I
get
know
that.
there's a reason for that.
I
but
get that.
yeah.
But if someone has to tell you twice to get your head down, there
No,
wouldn't be a second time.
I got that, Doc. I got that, but there's more to it than that, Doc. There's more to the reasoning than that. It's just like I don't want to be a drone in the.
You're not a drone.
In the anthill, I don't want to be some kind of grunt, just blindly listening to orders.
You don't blindly do anything.
Okay. Hey, Hojo.
I just didn't want to kill anybody, so that's why I did.
That too.
Hey, Hojo.
Yeah, it's not easy to take any.
I don't think no matter how much conditioning I would ever be able to look someone in the eye or whatever and do that. I just no.
I don't know if it's me or him. It's going to be him, not me.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't have that temperament.
And that's when, by the way, you thank God for the endless training, because you're cool under fire. You do what you got to do, and you get to go home, and the other guy doesn't.
Well,
I'd
you
rather
haven't
we just
been in
both
the
went
military.
home.
Should we have military rule, Doc?
Say it again, please.
Should we have military rule for our government?
No, of course not.
Okay. Just wondering. They fell on that.
I think an entire generation would benefit from going through a boot camp and then a training course for civil service.
Nothing wrong with grunts, Hojo. But, some grunts would just, if you told them to fall in a ditch, they would fall in a ditch. And it's like, I don't know.
But see, Rex, you're missing the point. What you learn along the way is they're not going to give you an order that doesn't have a reason for it. If they said, "Hey, Doc, get in that ditch," it's either one, to save my life, or two, I become a human bridge for my shipmates to get across me.
Well, I get it, Doc. I really do. But it's like, I guess I've always wanted.
I get it. You're saying you don't have the temperament to be in the military, and I get that.
Oh, no, I think I could be very good in the military, but is that who I want to be? No. If it was, I would have been
spirit.
That.
Chris is going to teach me to kill people, which
I'm thankful for my military training. It gave me discipline. It gave me a F-ton of academic knowledge in advanced medicine. And when the shit hits the fan, even though I'm old and fat and flabby and whatever, I got a pretty good chance of defending me and mine.
And you got a retirement. I mean, that's got to be a bonus.
Well, I didn't get retirement.
You didn't get a retirement?
I actually think we should send.
No, I didn't do 20 years
nowadays for military training.
Yeah, I think
all men should go through that.
I would be for that. I would be for a couple of years,
Yeah,
I
like they
don't
do in
think
Korea.
any longer than that. And I think a lot of young people, you catch them at a young age with mandatory. A lot of them would stay in, definitely
Exactly,
volunteering.
Glenn. Exactly. Yeah. It is what the worst thing you can be called in the Marine Corps is an individual. Oh, you're just a stinking individual, aren't you?
Right.
Meaning you're not part of the team. You want to do things your own way.
And Glenn, yes, all men. What about the women? I am not a feminist. I think women should be women and men should be men. That's all I'm saying on that subject. If women want to do that,
There you
fine,
go.
they can have the option to. I don't think they should be forced to because it's not their physique. But I'm not going to get into
Absolutely,
that
Hojo.
debate.
Absolutely. He says, I point to my military training and mentality to my comic books. Exactly. Everything I've ever succeeded in doing goes back to that early military discipline that I got as a very young man.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed to, like you were saying, Ice, about, a couple years mandatory for every young person.
But civil
Um,
service, not
when
military service, because listen, nobody on active duty in the United States wants a draftee with them. We want people who volunteered to be there, people that are there because
and
they
I get
want to.
that. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want some kid next to me who was drug off of his block or his farm or whatever, and he doesn't want to be there, and he's pouty and petulant and afraid.
Sure.
I don't want that guy.
Although I would take that guy over some of the ones that we have in the military now, Doc, to be perfectly honest, which are sort of wallflowers, I think. I don't think we're getting the cream of the crop nowadays.
Well, yeah, listen, when they turned the military, the U.S. military, into a social experiment, they went completely off the rails. Yep, Hojo, exactly. Too bad he went sideways afterwards. He met that girl.
Prince William. Kate's okay. It's Meghan Markle. That's Harry.
Oh, I thought Harry served.
Harry did, but I'm pretty sure all the royal family have got military background.
Yeah, both of them did. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one of them famously flew a helicopter to go meet with the Queen for lunch one time, just because he could.
Well, if you like flying, you get it. He
Sure.
probably liked flying, right? And he could. It's nice to be able to flex and do things like that when you can.
Yeah,
No
I
matter
was
the
thinking of the
expense.
ginger. Yeah, there was nothing in me that ever wanted to be a pilot, because it's not like if you break down, you just pull over to the side of the road.
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, they've got, parachutes, ejection seats, and things
Yeah.
like that. Can you imagine in World War One where they
Oh yeah, they just
didn't have any of that? You went
the
down with the ship.
the pistol you took up with you was to blow your head off if your plane was crashing.
Yeah, or to fire at your opponent too, right?
You always saved a bullet for yourself.
Occasionally. And you
Save a
always
bullet.
save one for yourself. Absolutely. Yeah.
But no, like I flew in the military a good bit, but it was not something that I relished. It was just something you have to do.
Hojo says the military is like a romantic relationship. You get out what you put in.
Yep.
Yeah. My thing was, I'm afraid I'm one of those that if I ever went in the military, I'd probably stick with it.
You'd what?
I would probably stick with it for the rest of my life. And I wanted to accomplish more than just that.
Well, I originally I was going to be a lifer, but life has
And
a
I
way.
was considering the military, Doc, all the way up to age 47 or, actually past 47, which at that point I looked into getting a waiver for the National Guard or the Air Guard, even at that time, going in as a chaplain, because that was my only option. So I've looked at the military several times, but I've just said, no, I don't, it's not for me. And
Hojo,
like I said, most of my family is military.
yeah, Hojo says I was the first out of the plane in airborne school, and I hate flying. I flew SAR, Hojo, and I was scared to death every moment.
I did not know, Doc, till I saw my uncle's tags. He had Korean tags. And I said, "What are you doing with Korean tags on?" And apparently, he joined the Navy in 1956. He was able to get Korean tags because they were out of Vietnam tags.
What do you mean
While
tags?
ago.
Dog tags?
No, truck tags.
Oh, okay.
And he explained to me that I guess since he went in 56, he was,
My dad
eligible
never.
for the Korean
Glenn
tag.
says my dad never landed in a plane. He just jumped out of them. That's right. But the mark of a successful pilot is that the number of landings equal the number of takeoffs.
When I think of, I always think of the gliders that went in World War II on D-Day. What a disaster that was.
Well, yeah, but when I think about that, I think about what an amazing generation of human beings.
Oh yeah, a little bit of canvas and wood, and you go up and come down very hard. Sometimes there were several of them killed on impact.
I mean, all of them. The ones that stormed the beach, the ones that parachuted in, the ones that came in on the gliders.
You mentioned a movie that showed that really well, Private Ryan.
Yeah.
When I saw that opener, I think that caught most of people by surprise. It was whoa,
When you think about what they did,
mm-hmm.
and then you think about kids needing safe spaces because a word offended them, you cannot reconcile that the same DNA is in those human beings.
Yeah. I mean, I did prison ministry with a guy. He had to give the testimony like 3 times. And it just got too emotional for me. He jumped out of a bomber, and the slipstream of the bomber broke his neck. Not enough to kill him, but to paralyze him, to a certain extent, his legs. And he was captured by the Germans, almost killed by the locals. Thank you, Ice Queen, for liking this over on Twitter. Appreciate that.
I'll be right back, Rex.
Easy times create soft men. I agree, Hojo.
Yeah, Hojo, they have made not just soft men, they've made pudding cups. Okay. That's what I call them. They're just pudding cups.
Doc, to be perfectly honest, I think even our generation was a little soft.
Not my peer group.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might not have been you or me, but I just feel like that. Yeah, there were some. That's when things.
I'll be right back.
Getting soft.
I think it's where it started, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like that's where it might not have been where it started, but it's where you could see signs of it. If you were looking for that type of thing.
I know when men started doing housework, that was enough for me.
We got great classics like Mr. Mom, the movie, where all you had to do was worry about fighting a Hoover vacuum cleaner. Have you seen Mr. Mom?
I don't think so. I mean, I know of the movie, but
that's Michael Keaton. That's Michael Keaton. Yeah. I need to. I don't know if I own a copy of that, but I need to watch that again.
It's an old one, isn't it?
It's an old one, yeah, mid-80s. But it's a fun little movie.
I told you I don't remember. I could have watched it 5 minutes ago and I won't remember. Oh, my phone's ringing. Suspected spam. I'm not answering that. I got excited there for a minute. I thought someone actually wanted to talk to me.
Well, my phone's out. It wasn't me, and I'm preoccupied. Gable's penny shot in the house. Kick Ice Queen. What the hell?
Gable. We made up, remember? Jeez. You can't keep up, can you?
Well, he can't remember past the moment either, apparently.
No, 1 minute with friends, the next we're not. I can't keep up.
Yeah. My seesaw. Did you, when you were a child, did you play on, did you have seesaws? I guess you did, huh?
Yeah,
You know what a seesaw is?
yeah,
Yeah. Kind of like life, up and down, up and down.
yeah, yeah.
So anything happening exciting over in the UK right now that you can think of?
No, not that I'm aware of. I keep my head buried in the sand, so I don't know what's going on. I don't want to know. No. No idea. See, I'm not full of information.
Wish I knew what this actress was. Today's her birthday. Uh, Seen her. She was in Jane Eyre and a bunch of other stuff. Uh, Maybe you know her. I think she might be British. Does she look
No,
familiar to you?
not really. No.
Well, now, I know what role she played. She was in Superman, which I knew that. She was in the Christopher Reeve Superman as his mother on Krypton. So she had a very small piece, small
Yeah.
role in that movie. And there she was younger, probably back in the 60s. Got that sort of twiggy haircut, right? Susan York? No, it's not Susan York, Glenn. Um, that is it Susan York? Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Susan York. Yep. I was reading the wrong name here. She was born in 1939, January 9th, 1939. She was in Tom Jones, 1963. They Shoot Horses, Don't They, 1969. Jane Eyre, 1970. Images, 1972. The Mermaids, 1975. Oh, no, not the Mermaids. The Maids. I was getting excited there. And Superman, 1978. She passed in 2011, age 72. But today would have been her birthday as well.
Well, happy birthday. Gable says, please have IQ talk about her D&D druid, please. She won't tell me. Yes, Gable, I will tell you. I sent you the entire script that I wrote about her.
The longest bus route was between London and Calcutta. Check that out.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not know that, no.
London, England, and Calcutta, India. This bus service from London to Calcutta is considered to have been the longest bus route in the world. The service, which was started in 1957 and operated by Albert Travel, was routed to India, continuing after the UK to Belgium through Europe via then Yugoslavia, Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, West Pakistan. After entering India, it eventually reached Calcutta via the New Delhi. This route became known as the hippie route. Wow. Okay. Took about 50 days for the bus to reach Calcutta from London. That's quite a trip, almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow. The voyage was 32,669 kilometers long and was in service until 1976. By then, the cost of the trip was 145 pounds, including food, travel, and accommodation.
Wow.
So it ran for almost 20 years. Um, actually, yeah, 19 years. The bus was equipped with reading facilities, separate sleeping bunks for everyone, and fan operated heaters. I don't think you'd need that in some of those countries. It's darn hot through there. There was a kitchen with all the equipment and amenities there was a forward observation lounge on the upper deck of the later version of the bus. The bus provided radio and a music system for parties. It had time to spend at major tourist destinations along the way, including let's see, shopping breaks were organized. Okay, cool. Wow.
Well,
Have you ever taken a long bus trip? The longest bus trip and the only bus trip I've taken was to the other side of Tennessee, which was about 10 and 11-hour drive one way.
Yeah, we used to go from London to South Wales, where my parents lived. It's about 5-6 hours, but that's about it. Might have been
Well, I
longer
went
than
to
that.
the 1982 World's Fair with a gentleman that actually went to high school with Johnny Cash, which was born about 45 minutes drive from here or less, in Dice, Arkansas, which is just a little hole in a field, even to this day. So I got to hear, stories about Johnny Cash. And I bunked with the driver since I was only 16 years old. Glenn says I sang for the locals on a bus in India back in 1980. Funny story. And he says that he could tell us a funny story about Suzanne York. So
Tree
cheap.
Goblin used to go
Yeah,
to
that
the
was
Alps.
cheap. That
on the
was a
coach.
journey. Yeah, I bet it was a journey. I mean, borders would probably preclude such a thing now, right? Yugoslavia is now Slavnia. Name change. Oh, I guess
I mean,
some
I've been to
lizard
France by
representation.
train. That's about it.
Here's a Godzilla sketch. There's your lizard representation for this broadcast, Lorenzo. I know that was kind of light. I can't wait to see that inked. Brent Booth did that. Brent Booth is one of the greatest comic book artists out there now. He's a beast. Yeah, Glenn, DM me. Let's set something up real quick. I've been wanting to get with you. I've got several meetings I need to get with people over different things. Does anybody know if Fred Benz is related to Ed Benz, the artist? I just wonder. I've never seen
I have
Fred
no idea.
Benz till yesterday, some of his artwork. Here's a John Byrne Dr. Doom just for the heck of it. What do you have planned for the rest of the day, Ice?
Well, I was just going to say, I'm a bit late, but I need to go and grab some lunch. And then I've got to start cooking dinner for tonight. And
Yeah. What's
just
on
general
the
tidying up housework.
What's on the dinner menu?
I'm going to be doing a shepherd's pie with cauliflower cheese.
Oh wow. Yeah, I just considered for a millisecond at the store buying a pre-made shepherd's pie, but I resisted. I got 2 pizzas instead. And I've already eaten them.
Oh, have you?
I told you
I should have had my lunch
pizza.
about an hour ago, but I'm going to have it now. I'm just going to have some
Yeah.
soup and then get started on the dinner.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for
wouldn't have done this. I
having
would
this
not
show
have
just
done
for
this
me.
stream without you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the reason I did it because you were bored.
I was bored.
Clayton,
Really?
bored.
I just wanted to get out of doing the housework. So, it worked really well.
Oh, well, I'm good for an excuse occasionally.
Yeah.
And I know what it is to procrastinate. So get chopped to it, mister.
I cannot procrastinate any longer. I must get
Okay.
on.
All right.
All right. Take care, Rex. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Have
Bye,
a lovely
Caroline.
day.
Bye, Doc.
My yard is flooding.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to drizzle here or not. Do you have any wind? It's kind of breezy here.
Yes, we have strong wind advisories, strong storm advisories. Listen, I've said this before. Let me hammer the point home. I live in the bottom of a valley, the very bottom. The tornado took out all the trees that retain the water flow.
Mm.
So we are flooding.
God. And in the kitchen.
Well, yeah, that's happening too.
Oh, man. Are you going to get back with FEMA over that?
No, I'm already talking to my congressman.
Yes. Go over their heads.
Well, I mean, yeah, when the government does not do what they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
then you have to take whatever measure you
There's
can.
no foundational, structural,
There's no structural damage, and yet
Did they actually, go under the house, or can they go under your house?
they could, but that's not the structural damage. The structural damage was to the roof and to the living room where the front door blew open and 5,000 gallons of water blew in.
Oh, I thought you said they checked the foundation though.
No, they said
Oh.
there's no. They said there's no structural damage, in spite of one hole that you could throw a football through in my roof, and then two others that I could slide my arm down into.
See, that. I mean, that gets under my skin.
My neighbor, who had less damage, had a different inspector. Well, she got a brand new roof.
What is your tax money going for? At times like FEMA is just, oh God,
Listen, my car's rear window got busted out from a limb during
No
the same
structural
storm.
damage.
We don't cover cars unless it's your primary automobile. It is the primary automobile. My fence was taken down. All
What
four
did they
sides.
say to that when you tell them it is your primary?
They just basically said no, it's not. My fence was crushed, all four sides of it, by these massive oak trees that came down.
I love it when I've always thought that insurance was a waste. Now, as I get older, yeah, it has its uses, but for most part, I think it's a giant Ponzi scheme. And then, anytime I've had anything damaged, you always get an argument from the insurance company. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, what am I paying you for?
Is this legalized robbery or what? I'm like, God,
Exactly.
I'm paying you to sue the other insurance if they don't comply. What the hell? It was their fault. I've got evidence. I had to deal with that last time, my truck was hit.
Oh, I wanted to give a quick shout out.
Okay.
Carissa Grant launched her campaign for Worthy Chaos number, I forget which one, but she was fully funded within 2 hours. So congratulations, Carissa Grant. Love you. Keep rocking it, girl.
I bet when you went and got that coffee, you didn't think to go get that artwork, did you?
I didn't go get coffee. I went to go and see what I could do about getting my house to not float away.
Oh, okay. So it's batting down the hatches.
Listen, when I say it's flooding, I don't mean there's some puddles of water.
Right.
I mean, my backyard is underwater. Now, I have a berm for water flow directing built around the back of my house, so it'll run down the sides. But it's only 6 inches tall.
I actually think I can hear the rain coming through your mic.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah. I know you have a window right there by you, don't you?
Yeah, I'm facing the window.
Yeah. Yep, you can definitely hear that running off.
Yep.
They did make a movie about your house at one point. It was called A River Runs Through It.
Right.
Seen it?
Yeah. There's literally a stream that runs through the window I'm facing. There's a stream that runs through the valley at the bottom of the valley, and it goes right through my yard. So that should tell you, I am in the lowest point.
that's not good. Yeah, I mean that's what when I moved in here, that was one of the big selling points for me. Not only was it a nice house and at a great price, but it was on the highest point.
Mm.
So they got all my runoff. So there. Yeah. Which presents its own problems, erosion on one side. Uh, although
Glenn,
that's kind of, huh?
Glenn, I have seen other berms, big substantial berms. But he says you haven't seen a berm unless you've seen one in Iraq. Well, I didn't go to Iraq. I was too old for that conflict. But
What's a berm?
typically, a berm is a man-made hill
Okay.
that's built to be a barrier. Like there was a berm on the grenade range that was 30 feet tall.
Okay.
Because, grenades.
Hmm. I don't know. I would think that you could probably throw a grenade over 30 feet.
No,
Huh?
the berm, underneath the berm is where the recruits or the trainees would wait to take their turn on the front of the berm to throw their grenade. And on top of the berm was the control tower, an observation tower.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they would run around to the front of the berm, get into the throwing pit, throw their grenade, but the berm was there to deflect shrapnel.
Have grenades gotten any lighter over time? Because, I mean, if you
no.
handle a grenade from World War II, it's quite heavy.
The M67 fragmentation grenade has been the same grenade at least since Korea.
And
No.
what's the maximum you've seen one thrown?
I saw one kid. There's a huge. I'm trying to think of how you would even describe it. It looks like a desert because of so many explosions, and the sand on the other side of the throwing pit was like a fine powder. It had been pulverized so many times.
Mhm.
But on the other end of that was the swamp and then the ocean because it's Paris Island. It's an island. I saw a kid chuck one into the swamp.
Okay, so
All the way
guessing
across the field and bloop, poosh.
and you would say the distance was what?
It was the better part of a football field.
Which is
Football field's 100 yards. He threw it about 80.
it 100 yards? He threw it about 80 yards? Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I mean, considering how heavy they are. I actually
They're not
do
that
have
heavy
I actually have a grenade without the top part. It's been
without the fuse.
yeah. But it's the body of it, and it's an old World War, at least Korean. Like you said, it hasn't changed over time, but it's quite heavy.
Well, I never thought of them as heavy. I threw
Yeah.
a ton of them. I mean, I threw a lot of them. I never thought of them as heavy.
Well, I mean, it's not as light as say a baseball or
No,
not even close.
no.
I've never weighed one, but then I don't have the full thing to weigh either.
I don't know what they weigh. I just know they go boom.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's none of that Hollywood explosion shit. You don't see any red flame or anything. It's just a black puff and then a concussion wave.
Yeah. Well, I just know I don't want to be around one when one explodes.
We went through a period on Paris Island where there were 4, let's say, near-death accidents where a recruit would milk one or he threw it that bounced off the wall and came back at him, and the range instructor saved their lives, grabbing them and jumping into one of the pits. And they stopped live throws for a while to evaluate procedures. And
Mm-hmm.
my understanding is they eventually, in boot camp now, Marines don't throw a grenade. They wait for AIT to do that. So they turned the old grenade range into the new rifle range, and they turned the old rifle range into housing.
Well, I want to address what Hojo said earlier. He was basically saying my military life or that portion of my life informed my comics,
Right.
that's called life experience. I would like to think that my non-military life has informed, not that every experience I've had, whether it be in the private sector or,
Sure.
whatever,
Experience
has
is
informed,
experience.
yeah. I've had time spent in prison, not that I was incarcerated, but would go into the prison for about 7 years. Was a good experience. Working with the homeless was a good experience. I think I've seen a wide selection of humanity in all types of situations. So I think, my life experience has informed me, just as much. I mean, that's what we draw upon, right? Hopefully. That's what
Yeah.
really will give
There
our
are
comic, our writing or our artwork meaning, right?
there are the 4 E's that shape who we are: education, experience, environment, and examples. Education is not just from college. It's anything you learn, period. Learn how to tie your shoes, great. That's education. Experience. Anything you do that you live through is experience. If you go bungee jumping and it doesn't work, then you had the experience for just a split second.
Right.
Environment are the people that you surround yourself with, and examples are any person, living or dead, real or fictitious, that you derive something of value from. Those things shape who we are.
Nikki said last week I went 4 days without seeing another human. Mailman counts, I guess. Um, I do that all the time, Chris. To tell you the truth,
Yeah, you're a homebody, Rex.
I am a homebody.
I mean, I am too.
I just feel like this is my office, Doc. And
Yeah,
it's
I
the
don't.
most. It's
It's too peoply out there. I don't want to go out there.
it has. Yeah, I mean, especially during the Christmas season. Are you kidding? I
Yeah, I don't like to go out there.
if you've got it, I mean, if you've got the resources to go out and shop, and I'm not saying that. Usually, I like to go and get what I need and come back. I just like to be the most.
Not us. We have it
Yes.
delivered to the front door,
Yeah,
and I make no apologies for it. I love that.
you want to become a millionaire. Create something that saves someone time. I think that will always be a good thing, a time saver of some type. Anything now, I do agree with what was said in the chat earlier. Soft times create soft people. I'm not saying you have to be soft. I'm just
Correct.
saying that people like convenience. They like time, saving time.
Sure.
Time's too short as it is, Doc.
Or create the next hula hoop.
Yeah, I mean, or the pet rock. I mean, there's useless things.
They're not useless. They're amusement.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what the word amusement means? It means the absence of thought. To muse is to think. When you put a in front of a word, it becomes the opposite. Amuse, to lose yourself, to not think.
So is that what the Greeks would call a muse?
Yes.
Is to not something that would cause you not to think?
Yeah, not a space muse. Amuse
I know, but
is the
all right,
opposite.
let's
of
talk
muse.
about muse though.
To muse is to think, to be inspired, to ponder.
So opposite of amuse.
Right.
Okay. Well, I have a female character called Muse. That's why I was kind of just picking your brain about what you thought about the meaning of muse was to you.
Yeah. Like when a person says I'm apolitical, it means they don't give a shit about politics.
Yeah, and yeah, okay.
I'm just saying when you put that
Wow.
letter.
I'm neutral. Hey, I'm Switzerland.
I'm not.
I'm not. I don't want to be. You know,
I vote
that's the
hard.
middle of the
Baby.
road. You get ran over. Hello.
I vote hard.
Yeah.
Vote hard.
Amazed. Kate says. Amazed.
Like when I walk into the voting booth this November,
Mm-hmm.
I will say out loud, let me get in here and fire this motherfucker.
I haven't really been keeping up with it, but I mean, there's been a strong push by the Democrats and Biden in particular, it seems like, to keep Trump off the ballot in some of the
Sure.
states.
Sure, that's what you do in a dictatorship.
I don't know if well, I wasn't going to take it that far, just coming out and saying it, but you know, I mean, you're not incorrect, but you know, you call me not YouTube sensitive. Anyway, Nazi. Anyway, Hitler. I think I said Nazi over on Eagles. She about freaked out on me yesterday.
Yahtzee is a wonderful game. Yahtzee.
Yes, in Minecraft. Anyway, where was I going with that?
I don't even know, Rex. I don't know anymore.
You don't even try and track with me, do you, Doc?
I listen very attentively to everything anyone says.
Yeah.
Listening is a skill.
Well, you know, I may use 20 words to get what someone else might say 5, but not necessarily in my writing. I think I'm pretty clear and concise with that.
Well, no, Rex, your thing is you chase squirrels.
Yeah, I go on tangents. There's no doubt about that. But
we're talking about one thing and you hang a left at Albuquerque and I'm like, wait, where'd he go?
You've heard a couple of my stories. I don't go on tangents with the stories. I'm pretty right with my writing.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, you're on cue. You're on point.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I can definitely go on some tangents.
The rain just slackened.
I mean, that's the way my mind works, Doc. You know, and I like it. And I did not want to be shoehorned into the okay, sorry, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
like
Rex.
I'm sorry, bro. It just wasn't for me. And like I said, I examined going into the military hard, like at least 3 times in my life or more.
You're just a stinking individual.
Huh?
You're just a stinking individual. You just know better, don't you? You're just going to do you.
And loving it. Yes, I'm going to do me. And now that I'm old enough that they can't draft me or would have me, although there's some fight still in this old rooster, cock of the walk and all that, you know. Anyway,
I remember
I've done just fine without it, you know. Now, if I could live it over, maybe I would do it differently. But
my son is named after this particular drill instructor. He said, he said the place where the individual in the recruit dies is the first time they clip a D-ring on the rappelling tower. Suddenly, they follow directions very carefully.
Well, you know,
because if you don't, you die.
I'm a pretty good marksman. I think I would have done very well in the military. But yeah, I had other plans. I really did. You know, I wanted to develop basically my mind in a different way. Sorry. And I'm not anti-military. I don't want to come off as being anti-military. It's just because I really did examine it several times in my life and look into it. Even when we didn't have good leadership, what I didn't feel like was good leadership.
Yeah, when I went in, Rex, I went in because I was a newly married young man with no prospects.
I get it. Oh, that's a great opportunity.
I didn't want to work in the mill. I didn't want to have a mindless job.
And let's face it, Doc, that's why a lot of people join.
I wanted a little taste of adventure. So
travel the world.
So I joined.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the way through boot camp, you're becoming acclimated to the fact that you're becoming a sailor.
Right.
Right. Well, then
Yep.
when I graduated medical school, Corps school, I got sent off to the FMF. So now I have to become acclimated to a new branch of service, the Marine Corps. And at first, I didn't buck, but I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be there. But holy cow, am I glad that I did.
Well, it's not only, you know, it's tough enough on a quote individual single person, but it had to be tough on her too.
Who?
Well, didn't you have a?
I served my country. She served the fleet.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. All right.
She was a complete piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you didn't know that at first, right?
I did, but I was too stupid or too immature
Yeah. You thought you would
accept it.
you would feel that void in her life, I guess.
No, just it was
That you
just
could
young.
change her.
It was young and immature, and absolutely the wrong thing to do to get married to that woman.
Would you agree with this? Most young people think that they can change the world and change, which I'm not saying that there's not a possibility that they can't change part of it, right? Some can change it for major, you know, if you're
I think most,
innovative enough, but
I think a great portion of the human race believes in their inherent ability to contribute something meaningful. Now, how they define meaningful is up to the individual.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're all looking for meaning, right?
We want to matter.
Yeah. And sometimes life has us by the werewolves and kind of leads us to what we, not necessarily what we want to do, but what we you know, we need to do to survive at that moment. Sometimes it's just about survival.
Yeah. That Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah. I discovered when I took the time to ask the creator what I was created to do,
Mm-hmm.
which was to help. So there was the military, there was medicine, there was mental health, there was ministry, the
Mhm.
M's.
Mm-hmm.
I always have served my fellow man. Yeah, Glenn says, I didn't need the military to help me see the world. I went another route. Yes, you did, Glenn. International man of adventure.
That was the same way with me, but now I had Navy, Army, Air Force. I think all the big three there in my family.
Mhm.
We were all over the place. My second cousin, he was like stationed at the Pentagon a couple times. He was served straight out of high school. Even after he retired out of the military, he taught ROTC and things like that. So he was, I mean, he was, you know, I told him at his mother's funeral, which was the last time I saw him. Now he passed away last year. He was one of the relatives that passed away for me last year. Or was it the year before? Man, I'm losing track. Yeah, I guess
It
it was
goes
the year
by
before.
quickly.
It does. Actually, it was the year before last.
The days drag by as the years fly.
Somebody get me a BB gun. We need the name docs. He's on the panel.
Rooster.
Only fair. Okay.
I call him Pooster. Pooster the rooster.
Exactly. I mean, I think
Exactly
for
right,
some
Glenn.
young people, it's better financially for sure, and a lot of different reasons, you know, to go into the military. But I didn't want just the financial concern alone to be a, you know, in a lot of ways, it probably would have been easier for me to go into the military.
Yeah, the reason you go in is not the reason that you graduate. It's not the reason that you jump off the tower. It's not the reason that you endure the marches.
So are you saying when you go in, you don't really
You become
you don't go in the same way you come out?
exactly. You become aware of being part of something
Right.
amazing while you're in there.
And I get that. I mean, I get the concept of that. Okay, I really do. I really do. Uh, Becoming something greater than yourself. You
Yep.
know, a team effort. You look after others. You
Yep.
know, and I get that. And that's. I mean, there's a lot of honor and you know.
There's a
Pooster the rooster. Wow.
Yep. There's a great example. We were standing in formation one morning, and a Marine in front of me, Staff Sergeant Buontello, he was built like a tank, short, stout, huge arms. I mean, just a big old guy.
God, that sounds like my first wife.
And this big old bumblebee flew full speed into the side of his head.
Oh God, that's like a shot. I've been
And
stunned by one of those.
he
That hurt.
literally went, but he didn't flinch.
Shoot.
That's discipline.
Yeah, it is. Because man, those things hit you like a bullet.
I'd have freaked the hell out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, I was hit in the chest with one, and I thought I'd been shot, and I've never been shot, but I can imagine. Shoot. Whew.
But just there were little examples of extreme self-discipline and military bearing that you would see. And keep in
Well,
mind,
you know, that's
all of the NCOs and officers that I served under were Vietnam veterans. All of them.
you're going to get that in the military. There is a pecking order. And
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
I
talking
know
about
that's not what you're talking about, but I thought it worth mentioning.
that extreme military bearing.
Right.
The drill instructor that my son is named after had a full-size poster of a perfect Marines uniform turned out, and beside it was his full-length mirror, and he wouldn't leave the house until he looked exactly like that poster. He was going to be perfect every time he went out. And if you asked him why, he would say, because every time a civilian looks at me, he's got to see not me, he's got to see the Marine Corps.
Spit and polish. Nikki, how much rain are you expecting? Kate wants to know.
You can have all of this. Now,
Yeah.
let's see, what time is it right now? Oh, right about now is when it's supposed to get the roughest, the hour by hour.
Really?
Right about now is when the big thunder boomers are going to roll in.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be the calm before the storm because it's calmed down a bit here.
Maybe.
I got to clean my studio up today.
You're not going to have a warnings, are you?
We've been under a watch all morning since before the sun came up. Yeah. Listening is a skill.
Yes, it is. I've never been that good at it, but just be honest.
It's a learnable skill, Rex.
It is learnable. Yeah. I didn't even know that till I was an adult before I ever heard the term selective hearing. Then I thought, my God, I have it. You know?
The training that I got in college to be a counselor taught us not just listening, but attending.
Mm-hmm.
It's physical attending, it's mental attending, it's emotional attending. It's hearing everything that's said in its context and everything that's not said, meaning nonverbals.
Mm-hmm. Doc, are you going to have some time after the broadcast here to talk to me, or
Depends on the broadcast.
Well, I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours here. We could end at any time, but
Yeah, I can hang out for a minute.
Till your internet goes out and your power goes off, right?
Yeah, don't knock on wood.
Oh wow, Kate says the schools are canceled around there.
Yes, schools are canceled here also because of the wind. The transportation, the buses couldn't run.
I saw a little meme on that. It was like saying,
Yeah,
be
sorry,
alert, the world needs
alerts.
Yeah.
Good one, Glenn. Yeah, I went back in the bedroom early this morning, and Tacey was not dressed, and I said, "Are you not going to work today?" And she said, "School's canceled. Wind. The buses can't run. When the wind's strong enough to blow buses off the road, that's a bad weather day." So keep collecting.
Well, absolutely. Keep reading, learn something. I never did.
By the way, those of you that backed Pariah Blood and Mud and got your copies, I really hope you enjoyed them. Let me hear from you. I'd like to hear your feedback.
Yeah, I can't wait till they start. I don't think, a lot of people don't do reviews, Doc.
Right. I'm not
They
necessarily
may
talking about
enjoy the
reviews.
things, they may have unboxings and show you what they got, but they don't do reviews.
Right. I just like hearing the feedback from people.
In fact, there's very few people around that do reviews, book reviews. I know Coach Cheese is one of them. He does good reviews.
Well Read does reviews.
Well Read, yeah. And then Luke does Well Read. He does reviews on stuff, and it's not necessarily even crowdfunded stuff. We are 2 hours late for school, and an hour later they cancel. Yeah. They cancel all the littlest things now.
This ain't little. Have you looked at the weather radar?
Okay, I'm not. Yeah, but I mean, often they do, Doc. It's the
Sure.
I
Well,
saw a meme on that recently, and I've got to agree. At one time they would have said, put your head down, get in the hallway, and they wouldn't have canceled school. They rarely canceled school.
So there's
there's a breeze coming, a little strong. We need to cancel.
So there's a line of severe thunderstorms producing tornadoes that when I checked this morning stretched from Louisiana up into the Midwest, and then from the Midwest up there's a polar vortex bringing in blizzards.
Good reviews. Oh, cool. Governor's cool. National Guard. Yeah, that's kind of like a no-brainer.
Oh, Hojo, I'm terrified of being reviewed. I would just crawl up in the closet and die. What if they don't like me?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
all
you can do is take the criticism, whether bad or good, and try and apply it to your next project. If they didn't like the paper quality or they didn't like,
all of the feedback I've gotten so far has been
eat
positive.
The meat, spit out the bones.
Yep. All the reviews, not reviews, all the feedback I've gotten has been positive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Florida governor has called in the National Guard. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Hojo said Kate never gave me feedback.
Kate says, I enjoy Pariah Blood and Mud while drinking from it's your mug now. Kate.
Yeah. Yeah, at first at one time, this might be Kate might not want me to say this, but she was like, I don't know if I'm going to buy Doc's book. I'll buy other stuff. So I'm glad she bought it and read it.
Oh, Kate. Tell me Rex is lying right now.
Well, she was definitely going to support you. She just didn't know if that was comic book reading, that, something that she wanted to read. That's fair.
Sure. Listen,
Because I know
Pariah is not everybody's cup of tea.
she will probably lie.
She said lies.
Okay, all right. Well, she'll probably love A Damn Dirty Thing, because she does like the noir genre. There's no smoother way to let you out of the stream than this music right here.
Ba-dum, ba-dum. Oh, ba-da-da-da.
I'm gonna kick you. Everyone have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. Join us at a special time today for the 4 o'clock shadow. It'll be at 3. Why? Just because. It'll be at 3 Central.
4 o'clock Eastern.
4 o'clock Eastern. Yes. I was
See you,
confused there
Glenn.
for a moment.
Good to see you, Kate, Hojo, everybody that tuned in, Caroline.
Glenn, DM me over there. Come on. Let's get something going.
Nikki, good to see you as always.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Hojo. Glenn, Kate,
Tree Goblin.
Nikki. Thank you, Ice Queen, for coming on. You too, Doc.
Gabe.
Who else do we have in here? Glenn,
Gabe, Jeremy
Jabal
Burns.
Penny Shot. Jeremy, right? And Stephen D.
Stephen B. Always a
Old
pleasure,
Cat
sir.
Studios. He's doing some good stuff. I'm gonna have to have him on and get some
Past
updates.
Master Dan was here.
Past
Good to
Master
see him
Dan, yes,
always.
indeed. Yep. It's always good to DVB, of course.
Yeah.
He went off to bed. I've got too much to do to go off to bed. Tree Goblin, of course. I think Tree was the first one in here. And we even had this, which is just a salesperson. Bring back the sex bots or whatever. Remember those, Doc?
Yeah.
You do a stream, you get the.
Yep.
There was a couple of different ones, that would come in on my stream. We're in for a windy day. Yeah. Well, be careful out there. Whatever you do, batten down.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Full steam ahead. Damn the torpedoes, and have a great Tuesday. Out for now. Keep collecting. Keep reading. Doc, don't you go anywhere. It would help if I hit end.
Help.
Right?
Help.